Thank you so much. Great pleasure to be here. Thank you so much, John Martone, who's a treasure, clearly, to this organization and school, and wonderful conversation we've been having. And thank you all for coming out tonight. So I'm going to do a range of things, and if I can figure out the computer here, I'll play a little bit of music towards the end, which is tracks from a current CD with my son Ambrose Bye's compositions, and he's worked a lot with my poetry and now with the poetry of others, so I'm sorry he can't be here live in person, but it's the next best thing. Okay, thank you again. I'm going to start with a piece called Neurolinguistically, This is the Writing Dance. This is the writing dance, or a plumed helmet which itself resembles a heart in the shape of Africa. Continents, continents, the challenge is to question the warrior. Get inside his, her armor. Get inside the land which has no boundary. We could talk about China now, its economics, its technocrats, its ecological suffering, the backdoor deals, and we could be happily Canadian. But could we really? We could talk about Liberia, Darfur, Zimbabwe, suffering everywhere, and Congo, and our own backyard. Safe, starlit, stomp on it right now, out on that turf. This is the obsequious politician flattering you. You never believe him, never. The eminence of philosophy, so crenellated, so terraced, pronouncing the name of your dance. Down with the tyrant. This is the gesture and the name. Down with the tyrant. Down with his exaggerated thunder. You want to talk psychosis? Down with the tyrant. Daggers, hysterical Puritans, starved animals. You want to talk, you want to write. This is the writing dance, written for all to see. The whole picture of the decimated site, the picture of charnel ground, and the jackals came, Sift, sift through the body parts, sift, sift. See the back of his head? Would a gesture knock him off? Or is he too steely-eyed? Eyes look through the head. Inside there, the little screen. The trick is to dance upon it. The dance I was doing is the written dance. To be a barker, to be a noisemaker, be a saint. Tools, linen, weapons, wires, women creating sainthood. Place hands together and bow. This was the written dance, eyes looking back on themselves before growing cold. Check out the moon, check out all the characters. The philosopher, for example, her window of the room, the guy ready to blast his M16, the naturalist with steely gaze, dark streets out there below the moon. Is that what I see? Is it written? No, this is the smitten dance, flying over the occupied territories. Don't talk to me about transgression anymore. This is the trespass dance. This is the way I get down for it. It's my power structure to strangle Dick Cheney, strangle Bernanke, strangle Paulson, strangle Newt Gingrich. Upon thee, thou pundit Gingrich, euphemisms! And if I were a scientist, I would scream in my scientist voice, neurons, neurons. I would say it again and again, the way the neurons like to be commended and commented upon. Dear neurons, you can be so kind. I would say elephants move like this neurolinguistically, and snakes move like that, and hyenas are shrieking at the body politic. And if I were a Sufi, I might spin out of control. This is not the terra firma dance. This is not the map of the capital materialist junta dance. This is the writing dance. Ida Lupino liked it. Many actresses from the former eras wanted the scripts to go on and on. They were never confused about their priorities. They had their stage directions, their moves, their maps. They had their songs, their gestures, their postures, and they performed for a silver screen. They had their desires, and their sky was covered with a thin layer of clouds. Everything was quiet and still when they came on the set. It was like a scene of tranquil poetry. It was a scene you had to have been there for as it got written. And the one who emerged, who lingered, was the one you pointed to, was she who had been stalling, with feet like the feet of many different animals, and with eyes in all the pores of their pelts, and voices sounding as only she could as them, and mapping and changing the way the writing would go if it were a dance. You might wonder. Okay. When you go into that strangling part, you can, fill in the blank. So next I'd like to, this is a piece kind of homage to John Cage, and it's called Pieces of an Hour, and were the whole thing to be performed properly, it would take about an hour with a lot of gap and improvisation. I've performed it with some of Cage's music and also with Cage aficionados, and also bring in some of his text, but I'll do just a little bit of it. So Pieces of an Hour. And it's in this form of Sprechstimme. Maybe some of you know that word, sort of spoke sung, because I can't really quite sing, so. There's a little intro here. Being called on for a performance, the poet needs summoning from mental torpor and welcomes a structure which she creates with dogged attention. She's also given her students the same assignment to write every day within the same hour on the same spot. One woman never strays from her laundry closet. John Cage is quintessential artist of the 20th century, likely the most innovative. His passivity, if you could call it that, both gentle and active. His work is fierce. She pays homage in a kind of twilight meditation. Whatever sounds come out of her composed in this chance piece to accompany his music and so on. So, dear John Cage, what? Time me time, individual who is effective, is pattern in a great part persist, ist los, sacred gesture, utilize it, what? In counting, 4 minutes, 33 seconds, patrician etiquette of their family, daily like is built, pieces of an hour. 1, the cause, 2, the ceremony, minute flicker, 3, you see the inside of her plan. On every hour, a minute is recorded to match this time. Cage prepares the piano, it is never wasted. Cage's laugh would wake the dead. Complex can be cursory, intricate palm leaf offerings, but especially it is signal, restless in where, restless and what? Pieces of an hour in which a small bolt was living, suspended web of significance, demand explication.